There's a group of mechanics who stopped going to dealerships completely. Not because they can't, because they figured out something the industry doesn't want you to know. And once you hear it, you'll never look at your car the same way again. You bought your car to get from point A to point B. Simple. But somewhere along the way, cars stopped being machines you own and started being machines you rent access to. Think about it. You take your car in for a check engine light. The dealer charges you a diagnostic fee just to read a code your car already generated, a code any $30 tool from Amazon can pull in 30 seconds. Then they tell you the repair has to be done there, with their parts, at their price. And if you question it, they say your warranty is at risk. Sound familiar? That's not a coincidence. That's a business model. But here's what they don't tell you. There's a loophole. Mechanics, smart ones, independent ones, have been quietly using it for years. It's called the delete method, and it's not illegal, it's not shady, it's actually your right. We'll get to exactly what it is, but first, you need to understand why it exists, because once you understand the problem, the solution makes perfect sense. Let's kill the biggest lie in the automotive world right now. You have to go to the dealership for everything. False. Completely false. In fact, in the United States, the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act specifically protects your right to have your car serviced by independent mechanics without voiding your warranty. The dealership just doesn't advertise that. Why would they? They make more money from service than they do from selling cars. Read that again. The service department is where dealerships actually profit. Every oil change, every diagnostic fee, every recommended service they scare you into, that's the real business. And manufacturers, they're in on it too. They design software lockouts. They create proprietary diagnostic systems. They push firmware updates that disable third-party tuning. They build planned obsolescence directly into the code, not just the parts. This isn't paranoia. This is documented. This is how the system was designed. Here's where it gets technical, but stay with me because this is important. Modern cars aren't just mechanical, they're computers on wheels, and like any computer, they run software. That software controls everything: your engine, your transmission, your emission system, your fuel economy. Now, manufacturers lock that software. They encrypt it. They make it so only their dealership tools that cost tens of thousands of dollars, can fully access it. Independent mechanics get a watered-down version, enough to see the basics, not enough to go deep. This is called a dealer lockout, and it affects almost every major brand: Ford, GM, Toyota, BMW, Mercedes, all of them. But it gets worse. The DPF and DEF system, the diesel tax. If you drive a diesel truck, a Ram, a Duramax, a Power Stroke, you're living with a system called DPF, diesel particulate filter, and DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. These systems were added to meet emissions regulations. Fine, but here's the problem nobody talks about. They fail, constantly. A DPF replacement? $3,000 to $8,000. DEF system issues? Easily $2,000 to $5,000. And they're designed in a way that makes them extremely sensitive. Short trips, certain driving patterns, certain fuel types will clog or damage them faster. The manufacturer knows this. The dealer profits from it. And the fix? The real fix that actually solves the problem permanently? The dealer won't offer it, because it would cost them a customer for life. Here's how it plays out for the average person. It starts with a check engine light. You ignore it, because it's always something small, right? Then the light stays on. You take it in, they charge you $150 to read the code, they tell you the DPF is getting clogged, they do a forced regen, a process that takes hours, and charge you $300 to $500 for it. It works for a while. 3 months later, same light, same problem, same bill. Then one day the regen doesn't work anymore, the filter is too far gone, and now you're looking at a $5,000 repair bill on a truck you thought was running fine. That's not bad luck, that's the system working exactly as designed. But here's where it gets worse, because it's not just diesel trucks, it's not just one system. It's your ECU, it's your OBD port, it's the software running inside every car built in the last 15 years. And the people who figured out how to fight back aren't hackers, they're not criminals, they're mechanics, independent shops, guys who got tired of watching their customers get robbed and decided to learn the system well enough to beat it. So what exactly is a delete? In simple terms, it's removing or bypassing a system that's causing problems, and there are three main types smart mechanics are using right now. 1. DPF DEF delete. This removes the diesel emission system from the vehicle's software and hardware. The truck runs cleaner mechanically, gets better fuel economy, and eliminates a catastrophically expensive failure point. This is done for off-road vehicles, farm equipment, and in certain legal contexts. Always check your local regulations. 2. ECU tuning and dealer lockout bypass. Independent tuners have cracked manufacturer encryption on many popular platforms. They can access the same deep-level controls dealerships have, sometimes going further. They optimize fuel maps, remove artificial power restrictions, and fix software-based problems without a $300 dealer diagnostic fee. 3. Right to repair, OBD access. This is the legal battlefield right now. The right to repair movement is pushing legislation to force manufacturers to open their diagnostic data to independent mechanics. Several states have already passed versions of this law, meaning your car's data belongs to you, not Ford, not Toyota, you. The loophole? Mechanics in right-to-repair states are already legally accessing data that dealerships in other states pretend doesn't exist. Remember what I said at the beginning, that smart mechanics stopped going to dealerships? This is why. They learned the systems, they found the access points, they built the tools, and now they're servicing cars at a fraction of dealership cost with better outcomes because they're not incentivized to sell you the most expensive solution. They're incentivized to actually fix your car. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every year you spend trusting the dealership blindly, every diagnostic fee, every forced regen, every manufacturer-recommended repair is money that went into a system specifically designed to extract it from you. You're not a customer, you're a revenue stream. And the only way off that conveyor belt is to know what they know. Now you do. Find an independent mechanic who knows these systems. Ask them about your specific model. Ask what they can access and what the dealer is hiding. Because the dealership's biggest fear isn't competition, it's an informed car owner. Most people figure this out after the $5,000 bill. You just figured it out for free.